The Bodhi tree stood silently, its leaves rustling softly in the warm breeze as the disciples gathered beneath its shade. Ananda stepped forward, his expression troubled, his hands trembling slightly as he bowed before the Buddha with utmost reverence. "Master," Ananda began, his voice strained, eyes shadowed by doubt, "I cannot seem to quiet the storm of my negative thoughts." The Buddha gazed at Ananda calmly, his presence radiating serenity, wisdom etched into every line of his tranquil face. "Ananda, your thoughts are like a river," the Buddha said, voice gentle yet firm, sometimes turbulent, sometimes still. The disciples leaned in closer, eager to absorb every word their master offered, their hearts heavy with unspoken burdens. "Acknowledge your thoughts, but do not cling to them," Buddha advised, his tone rich with compassion and profound clarity. "Negative thoughts are but fleeting clouds, passing through the boundless sky of your true nature," Buddha continued, his eyes luminous. "I strive and struggle, yet my path seems futile," I confessed. "Am I unworthy of the dreams I cherish?" For a long moment, he said nothing, his silence more profound than words could have ever been. "This stone can teach you, Ananda," Buddha said, holding it aloft, his eyes never leaving the disciples' earnest faces. He placed the stone in the clear pond beside him, watching as its weight sent ripples cascading outward in concentric circles. "Your mind is the pond, and your thoughts are the stone," Buddha said, his voice soft yet resonating deeply. "Some thoughts are heavy, creating ripples. Others merely skim the surface, fleeting and barely felt," Buddha explained patiently. The Buddha smiled faintly, as if my answer contained the seeds of wisdom I had yet to understand. "This sapling grows not with the burden of comparison but with faith in its own process," he explained. "It does not despair over its size nor rush its growth. Yet it reaches for the sky," he continued. I looked at the sapling more intently, as if its quiet existence suddenly bore a hidden meaning for me. "You are neither the storm nor the ripples it causes," Buddha elaborated, his tone soothing as a mountain stream. "You are the depth beneath the surface, vast and unshaken, holding infinite stillness even when turmoil prevails," Buddha expressed. "But the lesson goes deeper into the soil where unseen growth occurs. The roots grow first, unseen by the eye, yet vital for the tree to stand strong and tall," he said. The Buddha pointed to a nearby fire, its dancing tongues engulfing dry wood, rising and falling in its ephemeral ferocity. "A flame feeds on fuel. Without fuel, the fire fades," Buddha explained, gently tossing soil onto the fire's flickering embers. "Anger needs your attention, your desire to resist or retaliate, to keep burning," Buddha said, hands gesturing toward calming waters. "When anger arises, observe it deeply, dispassionately. It teaches where patience is absent, where understanding lacks, where peace is neglected," Buddha shared. The disciples exchanged glances, silent whispers of understanding blossoming as the Buddha's words sank into their restless minds. "Master," interjected Subhuti once again, his heart seeking solace, "can negative thoughts sometimes hold truth we should heed instead of dismiss?" The Buddha nodded slowly, his face illuminated by the wisdom he carried and the compassion he wished to impart. "Not all thoughts are illusions. Some are mirrors reflecting the truth we need but resist acknowledging," Buddha clarified. Thoughtfully, "Look into the mirror with courage, Subhuti, without flinching. You will find the truth hidden within," Buddha reassured gently. Subhuti's voice faltered as he replied, his lips trembling, "But the truth can feel like a burden too heavy to bear. The burden exists not because of the truth, Subhuti, but because of the resistance you place against it," Buddha explained. The Buddha picked up a fallen leaf, brittle and brown, holding it delicately between his fingers. "A leaf falls not because it is weak, But because its time to serve the tree has ended, he said. Ananda, Subhuti, and all gathered here, remember peace is found not in control but in acceptance, Buddha emphasized calmly. The disciples bowed deeply, gratitude filling their hearts, each one reflecting on the profound lessons delivered under the Bodhi tree. Master, if the journey itself is the teacher, how do I honor each step without losing sight of the destination? The Buddha gestured to the forest path, dappled with sunlight and shadow, winding endlessly through the trees. Walk the path with awareness, he said. Another day, under the familiar canopy of the Bodhi tree, the disciples gathered once again, their minds eager for guidance. The morning sun filtered through the leaves, casting intricate patterns on the ground, as the Buddha observed them in silence. Master, a disciple named Rahula began hesitantly. How can we cultivate a mind free from the thorns of anger and fear? The Buddha picked up a handful of seeds resting beside him, his fingers cradling them as if they held profound secrets. Your mind, he said, his voice steady and kind, as a fertile garden. Whatever seeds you plant will take root. The disciples watched intently as the Buddha held the seeds aloft, their small shapes glistening faintly in the morning light. If you sow seeds of hatred, envy, and fear, your garden will bear thorns that pierce your heart, Buddha explained patiently. But if you plant seeds of compassion, patience, and wisdom, your mind will bloom with beauty and serenity, Buddha continued softly. He gestured to the earth beside him, where weeds and wildflowers intertwined, their existence illustrating the balance of growth. It is not enough to plant good seeds, Buddha said, bending to press the seeds gently into the soft soil. I let his words wash over me like the gentle breeze rustling the leaves above, filling me with quiet resolve. Master, how do I begin anew each day without carrying the burdens of yesterday's failures? I inquired earnestly. Even the most neglected garden can be restored. Kema, with patience, dedication, and small, deliberate acts of care, Buddha replied. Begin with one patch, one flower, one moment. Each day is a chance to illuminate anew. To carry the past is to weigh down the present, robbing it of its full potential to teach and heal. The Buddha rose to his feet, his movements deliberate, as he approached a tree bearing ripe fruit and unripe blossoms alike. This tree bears fruit because it received sunlight, water, and care. But not all fruit ripens at the same time. Your mind is the same. Some thoughts may flourish quickly, while others take time to mature or fall away, Buddha taught. The disciples listened intently, their expressions reflecting the seeds of understanding being planted within their own gardens of thought. Master, Rahula interjected, his voice thoughtful. How do we stop the weeds from choking the flowers we are trying to grow? The Buddha gently plucked a weed from the soil, its roots tangled yet delicate, and held it for all to see. Weeds do not grow from malice. They grow because the soil nurtures them. Much like your unwholesome thoughts, Buddha explained. The key is not to wage war against the weeds but to remove them gently. With awareness and compassion, Buddha continued, as you practice mindfulness, you will begin to recognize unwholesome thoughts as they arise, before their roots grow too deep. Rahula bowed his head in understanding, the wisdom resonating within him as he reflected on the analogy drawn by his teacher. The Buddha returned to his seat beneath the tree, crossing his legs as the disciples shifted closer to hear him speak. There was once a farmer whose field was overrun with weeds, Buddha began, his tone soft yet imbued with ancient wisdom. The farmer grew frustrated, pulling at the weeds aggressively, but his efforts only spread the seeds further across the soil. One day, the farmer realized he was treating the weeds as enemies rather than understanding their nature. Buddha continued calmly, he decided to observe the weeds. Learning their patterns, their roots, and the conditions that allowed them to thrive, Buddha explained. In time, the farmer was able to remove the weeds without resistance, and his field flourished with abundant crops, Buddha concluded. The disciples exchanged thoughtful glances, the story illuminating a path to approach their own minds with patience and mindful observation. Master, Kema asked again, her voice filled with curiosity. How do we ensure the seeds of compassion and wisdom thrive within us? The Buddha gestured to the flowing stream nearby, its crystal waters sparkling under the golden light of the morning sun. Compassion and wisdom are like this stream, ever flowing and nourishing life. But the stream must be free from obstruction. Remove the stones of resentment, the debris of doubt, and the silt of ignorance to let compassion flow unimpeded, Buddha advised. The disciples sat silently, reflecting on the imagery and depth of the lessons being shared beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. Remember, the Buddha said, his voice clear and resonant, a garden blooms not through force but through constant, gentle care. Your mind, like the earth, reflects your effort and intention. With mindful cultivation, it will yield the peace you seek. The disciples bowed deeply in gratitude, their hearts imbued with renewed purpose, the seeds of transformation firmly planted within their minds. Another day. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the disciples gathered once more beneath the great Bodhi tree. Their faces glowed with peace, yet traces of doubt lingered. Like faint ripples on an otherwise tranquil pond, Ananda stepped forward, his expression thoughtful, and he bowed deeply before addressing the Buddha with quiet respect. Master, he began, we have practiced observing our thoughts and cultivating our minds. But negative emotions still arise within us. The Buddha smiled gently, his eyes radiating compassion and understanding, his presence as steady as a mountain in the wind. The path of transformation does not end with silencing negative emotions, Buddha said, his voice resonating with serene clarity. Rather, it is about embracing the journey of growth, allowing emotions to teach you and illuminate your inner landscape. He gestured to the horizon, where distant clouds drifted, their forms ever changing, shaped by the unseen winds of the sky. Your emotions are like these clouds, Buddha continued, impermanent and shifting. They are not the sky itself, only passing visitors. The disciples nodded slowly, their understanding deepening as they reflected on the imagery their master had so vividly described. Master, spoke Subhuti, his voice thoughtful, how can we transform anger, envy, and fear into something meaningful and constructive? The Buddha stood and walked to the edge of the nearby stream, its gentle currents whispering secrets of timeless flow. Come, he said, beckoning his disciples to follow, his footsteps light yet purposeful as they approached the stream together. This water flows tirelessly, weaving its way around obstacles without resistance, adapting to the path before it, Buddha observed. Like water, you can learn to flow with your emotions rather than against them, transforming struggle into wisdom and strength. He dipped his hand into the stream, letting the cool water cascade through his fingers before addressing Subhuti directly. When anger arises, view it as a reflection of unmet needs or desires, a signal inviting introspection and deeper understanding. But what if I falter? My steps stumbling, my spirit wavering under the weight of relentless challenges? I questioned. The Buddha crouched, picking up a fallen branch, its broken form a metaphor for the struggles of existence. Fear shows you the boundaries of your courage and invites you to explore what lies beyond them. With mindful intention, Ananda, his curiosity piqued, asked, Master, but how can we turn these insights into action without being overwhelmed by emotions? The Buddha smiled, placing a smooth stone into the stream, watching as the water effortlessly flowed around it. Begin by pausing. Ananda, Buddha said, and observe the emotion without judgment or resistance. Much like watching this flowing stream, with awareness comes clarity. When you understand the root of your emotion, you can respond skillfully rather than react impulsively. The disciples exchanged glances, the seeds of realization taking root in their hearts as their master's wisdom unfolded. Master, Rahula interjected, his voice steady yet curious. What about emotions that seem overwhelming and refuse to fade over time? The Buddha gazed at Rahula with understanding, his presence as grounding as the ancient tree that stood watch over them. Some emotions linger, because they carry lessons yet to be learned, truths yet to be embraced, Buddha explained compassionately. Rather than resisting them, sit with them patiently, as you would with an old friend who needs your attentive presence. Through patience and openness, you will uncover the hidden wisdom within even the most difficult and persistent emotions. Our ascent continued, each step a silent dialogue with the journey itself, a meditation on its beauty and challenges, though the summit remained distant. The richness of the path grew undeniable, each moment filled with quiet revelation. Transformation is not about eradicating emotions. It is about allowing your roots to deepen while your branches reach higher. The disciples bowed deeply, their gratitude immeasurable, as they prepared to continue their practice with renewed purpose and understanding. The journey ahead was long, but they walked it with confidence, their minds illuminated by the Buddha's timeless teachings. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.